Okay, so we have multiple breaking news coming out. We're gonna start with this one here. US President threatened Greenland invasion amid World War III fears. Alright, we're gonna get to this one here. We have more breaking news coming out. And Ukraine launches drone strike targeting Moscow. Alright, so this is coming out from the mayor. He's sounding the alarm on this one here. So once again, we are definitely seeing some drones today. We have some more breaking news updates. Donald is sounding the alarm. He's saying that Claudia, the president of Mexico, she's afraid. Too afraid to think straight. So yesterday there was news coming out that the president of Mexico told Donald no U.S. troops in her country. And so Donald came out and responded and said she's afraid. She's afraid because of these gangs. And I did mention that yesterday. I mentioned that there's a possibility these gangs, send a message saying, hey, if you allow those, again, sleeping giant soldiers to come into Mexico, we already know you, your loved ones, and all that. And that's how they do things out there. So if you step on their toes or you step in their territory, their path, if you, mess with their operation or, all that type of stuff, they will come. And there's been a lot of history of them doing that type of stuff. So Donald said that she's too afraid. And at the very same time, we do need to pray for them out there because, again, that country is being run by a whole bunch of lawlessness. All right, guys, we're gonna get to this 3 news here. This is the only news that is coming out so far. It's been a little slow, but the big one right now is Moscow. All right, so the drones were taken down. We're gonna get to all that. All right, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. All right, so once again, Ukraine launches drone strike targeting Moscow. Let's see what's going on here. So it says the Bear Air Defense Unit destroy 4 Ukrainian drones flying towards Moscow. The mayor of the Bear capital said early on Monday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. According to preliminary reports, there were no damage or other stuff, but the falling debris, Mayor Sergei said on Telegram messaging app. A total of 26 Ukrainian drones targeting the Bear territory were destroyed overnight, the Bear Defense Ministry said on Monday. In addition to the drones down on their approach to Moscow, 17 drones were destroyed over the Bryansk region and 5 over the Kaluga region, the ministry said in a post on the Telegram messaging app. And as we get closer and closer to May 9th is like the big one. May 9th. And the reason why it's the big one, because you're going to have Russia celebrating, their, I think, 80th anniversary of the World War II. And they're going to celebrate in Moscow. And we have seen that so far there's some drones operation going on there. So the Russian forces are on high alert. We're talking about extreme high alert. So they're going to make sure that region is secured when world leaders come and visit Moscow on May 9th. All right, so it says here, give me a second, guys. Okay, so you have the Bear Aviation Watchdog, Viestia, said earlier it had halted flights at Domodedovo Airport, one of the key airports serving Moscow for about an hour and a half overnight to ensure air safety. Once again, the leader of the Bear, Putin, last week declared a 3-day cease plan for May 8th through the 10th to mark the 80th anniversary of the victory of the SU and its allies in WW2. A move appeared aimed at signaling that the Bear is still interested in peace. In response, Zelensky reiterated his calls for a longer halt in a war that began when Moscow launched a full-scale invasion on Ukraine. All right. So once again, multiple drones were taken down out there in the capital of Russia, Moscow. Everything seems like it's good, but again, that's not a good sign that getting closer to May 9th and all of a sudden you got some drones coming into their territory. So that's what's going on right now. So far, everything is good. Like I said, there's only been a couple of drones. It wasn't like a huge, massive hit. But everybody seems like they are doing okay. All right, so we're going to go with the next news here, guys. We're going to go with Greenland. Greenland is making headlines once again. So once you got the U.S. leader threatens Greenland invasion amid WW3 fears. All right, let's see what's going on with this news. Once again, hit that thumbs up, share the video. Thank you so much for your support. And again, God bless to every single one of you. U.S. President Donald doubled down on his warning to use military force to take Greenland if the autonomous Arctic island doesn't concede to his offers to purchase them from Denmark. Now, once again, the U.S. president has repeatedly said he wants to acquire the strategically placed and nutrient-rich Danish territory. While he hasn't ruled out using troops to take the land, he says there are likely still diplomatic channels to explore before getting to the point of military action. Political leaders in both Denmark and in Greenland have pushed back against the idea of U.S. purchase. So Greenland once again making headlines. Donald is really serious about this. NBC host Kristen asked Donald about his willingness to use the U.S. military to force the issue of taking Greenland. I don't rule it out, Donald said in an interview that aired Sunday morning on Meet the Press. I don't say I'm going to do it, but I don't rule out anything. And no, not there. We need Greenland. We need Greenland very badly, Trump admitted. Greenland is a very small amount of people which will take care of and will cherish them and all of that. But we need that for international security. Okay, international security. Very important. He needs that territory for international security. Possibly, perhaps Russia, perhaps war with other nations, and having Greenland will be closer to Russia, will be closer to those regions. Now, the repeated warning, however, highlights Donald's seriousness about acquiring the island. It says here, especially since the president has said he wouldn't use the same warning of military force when it comes to Canada. At the end of 2024, Donald first proposed the idea that Canada become the 51st state. but he has since then said that he would rule out using the military to force Canada to become part of the US. In his most recent interview with Welker, the leader said he doesn't think he will get to the point of using military force when it comes to the relationship with the northern neighbors. Now I ask you if you would rule out military. No. Oh, give me a second here. I asked you if you would rule out military force to take Greenland, and you said no. You don't rule out anything. Will you rule out military force to take Canada? Welcome question. Now, Donald, in a pre-recorded sit-down. Now, Donald replied, well, I think we're not going to ever get to that point. It could happen. Something could happen with Greenland. I'll be honest. We need that for national and international security. But not with Canada? It's highly unlikely. I don't see it with Canada, he repeated. I just don't see it. I have to be honest with you. Donald said that he spoke with Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark, last week, and the two plan to meet in person in the U.S. sometime in the next few weeks. Here's the thing. The reason why he wants Greenland so bad because you have the Russian submarines around that region. Canada, we don't have to worry because Canada is connected to the U.S., but Greenland is a lot more important. Welker asked Donald if during their meeting he would discuss annexing Canada. I always talk about that, Donald replied. You know why? We subsidize Canada to the tune of $200 billion a year. Man. He said Americans don't need or want cars, lumber, or energy coming from Canada. We have more than they do, Donald insisted. All I have to do is free it up from the environmental, I'm going to skip that name. We don't need anything that they have. If Canada was a state, it wouldn't cost us, he continued. It wouldn't be great. It would be a cherished state. I don't think the American public wants me to pay $200 billion a year to subsidize Canada, he concluded. So they do all of their business, particularly with us. They need us. We don't need them. All right, so once again, that's the latest updates there when it comes to Greenland. But he really wants Greenland. He definitely wants Greenland. The Panama Canal, we got something with the Panama Canal. We have troops out there. But Greenland is like the big one. And again, just imagine the bear just getting their hands on that one. Now, let's go with Mexico. What's going on here? Too afraid to think straight. Donald slams Mexican President Claudia for refusing U.S. military help on the gangs. Now, Donald claimed that the Mexican President Claudia declined his offer of U.S. soldiers to combat the Mexican lawlessness gangs due to fear. Donald asserted Claudia was too afraid of those groups to even think straight. Claudia confirmed Donald's proposal but rejected it, emphasizing that once again that Mexico's sovereignty is not. Give me a second here. It's not negotiable, despite Donald's increasingly aggressive stance on cross-border crime. Once again, it says here Donald said on Sunday that Mexican President Claudia turned down his offer to send American troops into Mexico to help crack down on these lawlessness because she was too afraid of those groups to accept this proposal. I I totally agree with Donald. I believe that she's very concerned and afraid, and again, possibly because she has families and loved ones, and my wife's mentioned something today, and it does make a lot of sense. A leader, number one, should be again, when it comes to world leader, again, God put men in charge of the things of the world. And again, we go by scripture, we go by God's laws. All right. So my wife mentioned that it's good for a leader to run a nation that don't have family because it's easier for that individual. So that way, when he makes decision like those gangs and stuff like that, the gang cannot say, "Hey, I'm coming after your young ones or your wife." Can't do that because again, he's just a, a single individual. Um, so it does make a lot of sense. I mean, look again. Look what happened to King David and Solomon. Solomon had like 700 wives. I mean, he was really putting himself in a deep hole. So, and he was king of the Holy Land. And the reason why he married all those women's, well, again, because he wanted to take their territory. He had different nationality women. That didn't work out. But when it comes to leadership, and you have, let's say, a loved one and young ones, again, becoming a leader is it's not an easy job, and people are not nice. And you're gonna get calls, and these calls could be very disturbing. And she probably got some of those calls and say, if you allowed Donald to put in those boots in our land, is over. So there's a possibility. Yeah, she probably got the call. She probably got messages, and Donald is right. Donald is right, 100%. She's not thinking straight. She's afraid. So I do believe that Donna's 100% correct. So Donna further said that the leader was unable to think straight because of fear. Mm-hmm. Now she's so afraid of those groups she can't walk. Donna said to reporters aboard Air Force One. So I think she's a lovely woman. The president of Mexico is a lovely woman, but she is so afraid of those groups that she can't even think straight. Like I say, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. If you're running for a leadership and you have families and loved ones, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of calls. I know where your young one goes to every morning. I know which class and all that type of stuff. And man, it's hard for you. It's really hard for you. And by the way, guys, that country they took out many powerful people. Those group took out certain. I don't want to say the name, but they took out certain politicians. You know what? They took out like 18 or 19 in a year. I think 2023, if I'm not mistaken. So it says here the remarks followed Claudia confirmation that Donna had pressed her during a call last month to let the U.S. forces take a larger role in Mexico fight against organized lawlessness. Now Claudia rejected the idea, saying that while cooperation is possible, it must respect national boundaries. Claudia, woman, you need to understand. You have Looney Tunes in your land that's coming here and bringing their product. Sleeping Giant, including many young ones, are using these products and they look like zombies. Many, over 100,000 are gone every year. Donna's doing a huge favor here, but again, it's, you don't want to fix your land. Like I said, she probably got the call. So he said, how can we help you stop those lawlessness? I propose the Sleeping Giant military come in and help you. Claudia said, and you know what? I said to him, I told him, no, Donald, no. Sovereignty is not for sale. Sovereignty is loved and defended. Donald has taken a more aggressive approach to a cross-border lawlessness during his second term. Since January, the sleeping giant military presence at the southern region has grown. Troops, surveillance, aircraft, and equipment have been deployed to target these operations, the product. Donald has also designated several gangs as foreign terror, organization, giving the Sleeping Giant Agency broader powers to act against them. All right. So Donald today, well, he was Air Force One a few hours ago. He said that too afraid to think straight. She's too afraid, and it's true because those those group, they don't play. They don't play, and they make a lot of money, a lot. So there's a possibility those group might have sent a message saying, "Hey, we could take out millions." So it just she's in a tough spot right now. Put it like that, very tough spot. And Donald said that he could help. All right, give me a second here, guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so RT just posted this not too long ago. Give me a second, guys. So India-Pakistan water war simmering. New Delhi completely cuts off the Salan Dam. Hours after closing off Baglahar hydroelectric power project dam, both in Indus Water Treaty's Chenab River. So they closed another one, I guess. We just look at this, guys. We just talked about this. Ahead of Vladimir parade, Ukrainian drones reportedly target Moscow. The bare official claim Moscow mayor said that the drones were taken down near the town of Polotsk, south of the capital. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna end it here. I'm not seeing much information, but I want to thank every single one of you for tuning in this late night. Um, Guys, there's been some huge sandstorm going on in Saudi Arabia and multiple regions. There's been sandstorm going on, even around the world. Even in Texas, there was a sandstorm, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, so this is all of it here, guys. This is all of it. But thank you so much once again for tuning in. And yeah, so I'm just triple checking here. But yeah, that's not going on. So again, this is where we are right now. So the biggest news was the Moscow. As we are getting closer and closer to May 9th. May 9th is that big date. And I pray that everything goes well, because there's going to be some very, very powerful people out there. Very, very powerful people out there in Moscow. So hopefully everything goes well. But yeah, there's been some drone strike going on today, May 5th. And we are 4 days away, guys. So you're going to have some parade going on, and I do believe Europe has theirs on May 8th, if I'm not mistaken. The US is possibly going to have their parade too. I don't know how we do our stuff, but Again, WW2. And we are seeing a repeat of history. Pretty soon, we're going to see our history, WW3. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a good night. For those of you that want to send us letters, prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.